Final ending of the list, all other parts down below. Let's see if there's anything else she is hiding. Time flies. I just finished my last week teaching. So, I am not longer commuting, which is a big relief to me. I had a lot of fun teaching, but the winter was a tough one. I have an interview this week for a job, and a really good lead for a university teaching position on the East Coast, which I will take even if I get something else in the meantime. My goal was to move by June 1st, but if the East Coast thing comes through, I would look more at July. I have not received divorce papers from her yet. She can't sit for me all this time, but that is now over. We have had no contact really. I saw her a couple weeks back and went up to her and talked with her. I was cheerful and friendly. No hint of any pain from me. She looked like hell, like she hasn't been sleeping. I think she was taken aback that I would come up to her and that I would be so decent about things. I saw her last Friday as well, and I kept on walking. She didn't see me or acted like she didn't, so I didn't think it worth the time. I have done a lot of reevaluating of things since Easter when I read that book at B&N. Do I really want to be with somebody that I would have to wonder if she would walk away again if things got tough? Do I want to have to worry if she is into some other guy and maybe even pursuing him? No, on both accounts, and that is how things will be with her if we got back together. Moreover, do I really want to deal with another year of cold shoulders and no bonding from the person who I am married to while she gets her own stuff together? No, I'm tired of it. I was not the best I could be, and I regret that I did not see my own issues. But I worked at things. I handled all this pretty well. Better than some men I know going through this same thing. One of my friends is a total mess over his divorce. Drinking, isolated. I'm better at the other end now than I was before. Hell, I am even starting to look at other women, though I won't yet follow through in asking anybody out. There is a play in town right now that I love. I almost asked somebody to go with me. A female who would be pretty cool to hang with for a bit, but I decided it is not worth it. I am moving soon. I don't want to use anybody, and I am not divorced yet, so I think I can wait till I move away and get a fresh start. I keep waiting for the divorce papers though. I knew she would drag this out. I have a feeling I am going to have to file the paperwork myself at some point. I am mentally ready to get them, at least I think I am. Who knows till I actually see them? I am not going to file though. Not yet. Once I am moved away and starting my own thing, then I will need to do it if she doesn't. Maybe she was waiting for the cat sitting to be over. I have no idea. We just don't talk and I am fine with that. So, my STBX left her sunglasses at my apartment and asked me to drop them off at her workplace, which I did today. She was talking to somebody in her office, so I handed them to the person who was blocking the door, and then just walked on and went to the library there to do what I wanted. Now there is no reason to be in contact any further in my view. She is no longer cat-sitting for me, and she has nothing here. Only reason I could foresee needing contact now is if she does not file divorce papers once I move away. But even then, I can file without contacting her at all if she drags it out. Strangely, I'm not sad or happy or anything about this. I'm focused on my work, planning and looking ahead, rather than anything else. I no longer have days or even short times where I am mired in thoughts about the end of my marriage. I've pretty much accepted it, and with that I am able to focus on other things and kind of move on. But who knows? I know enough to know that these things ebb and flow. But for weeks now I have not been unhappy about things. I am thinking about her and about our marriage less and less each day. She and divorce are not the first thing on my mind when I wake up, nor the last when I go to sleep. I might spend 10 minutes 15% of my awake time thinking about it or with it in the back of my mind. And much of that is me re-examining things in a new light, one where I clearly see my own issues, but can also notice that this was doomed the minute she walked out the door 15 months ago. So yeah, it gets easier, but I keep waiting for that step backward that always seems to come, but hasn't yet, even when I happen to see her or something. I do not regret the time it has taken for the most part. I look back and can honestly say I did what I could do. I gave it my best. I also worked through a lot of issues that I no longer have dragging me down. The 12-step work this past year has been absolutely liberating. I suppose I could have done that while getting a divorce, but all the same, not going through it forced me to look at ways I seek to control situations sometimes, often subtly, without knowing it, so I can be more at peace with life as it comes. Every day, before I leave my apartment, I kneel and say the Serenity Prayer, which definitely helps me accept what I cannot change. So, I am okay with it. The only thing I regret is that I did not apply for some jobs that I almost certainly had a good shot at because they would have meant moving far away, like Seattle, New York, etc. Some of my friends in my PhD department got those jobs, and I have a better record than they and could have landed something by now if I had not held myself back for yet another year. But that is okay. The next year could be tough because of that mistake, but I am sure I will make it through. I am not sure if she led me on or not. I think she was likely conflicted and maybe even still is, which could be why she has not filed yet. But I am not waiting any longer. I am definitely moving away from here, and when I do, that has to be the end of this thing. I don't see myself as single for the rest of my life. I don't need a woman for my identity, to feel secure, to not feel lonely, or just to feel good about myself. That is good, but I still don't see myself as staying single till the end of my days. But that won't happen if I am forever a separated person. What woman wants to be with a guy who is still married? What a threat that is in a shadow. I'm not rushing out to find somebody, by no means. But I will be open to that, and I have done a lot of self-work to prepare for it. Next lady gets a new and improved me. My STBX loses out, unfortunately. So, I don't want this divorce to drag out like the separation. Once I move, I am getting a divorce whether she has filed or not. Even if she is conflicted, she is not coming back. That much is clear. She will never return, and I just can't let it drag out too much longer. I won't cause her pain about anything. She has enough struggle on her own. I have been toying with the idea of contacting her to see when the papers are coming. But I'd like to have a firm idea of when and where I am going before I do that, so I know my own needs about things. I have an interview next week for a job away from here. I'm a good candidate, a bit overqualified, which will be my only downfall on this one as an editor. But there is another job on the East Coast that will start reviewing apps on the 16th. I want that one bad. Even if I got and took another job, I would back out and move for this job teaching at a university. Moving away will be a significant step for me. I need to get out of here. I drove to my gym today, which takes me by my STBX's apartment building. She was in the back alley where people load and unload things. When I drove back after working out, there was a cargo van there. I have no idea if that was for her, what was happening, or anything, but I did not need to see that. It just makes me speculate, this time, whether she is moving out or something. She likes her place, so it is doubtful. Distance. That will be nice. Second interview for a job coming up on Monday. The job is mine to lose, it seems, at this point. I've already started packing and looking for apartments, though I have not yet begun to look in person because I need the job offer and salary, which will determine how much I will pay for rent. Packing is good. Spending most of my time preparing for this interview at present. Today I went through some of my back emails and saw emails from the fall when my STBX and I were in counseling. I have been pretty hard on myself through all of this, looking at myself through a microscope to see where I have been at fault. But looking at some of those emails, I really did try even then. I was sending my emails to try to understand why I was taking all the initiative and she was spending so much time with other people, and trying my hardest to spend time with her, while she was trying not to spend time with me even then. Her email responses were not much different than what she says today, and that was 20 months ago before our separation. I didn't set out to look at those emails, but I was cleaning up my inbox and saw them. I was curious, just confirmed what I know. She checked out a long time ago, and no matter what I did, no matter how many changes I made, no matter if I were a perfect gentleman or not, at some point, she lost the ability and will to stick with this marriage. She knew where to go when she left. She had already thought things through by the time she left. Anyhow, I don't dwell on this stuff much anymore. I spend less and less time thinking about it actually. The marriage is dead and over, except according to the law. Once I get a job offer, I plan to contact her and ask for an update on the divorce papers, which have yet to be filed. I don't want to file in a new state, which will take even longer to do because of residency requirements, and the new state has a stipulation of a 2-year separation before a no-fault can be filed. That is a long time to be separated, though we are nearing 2 years now. Well, I am not sure how selfish she is, as I do my best not to take her moral inventory and such. I can say that while I was trying to connect all those months and she was pulling away, I also did not recognize some big issues with myself which helped push her away. While I was trying to spend more time with her, I was simultaneously isolated from most other people and did not want to or much like hanging out with the people she wanted us to be around, as I saw them in some sense as competition for her interest. They were that, and I had every right to feel that way and to see that she was using others to escape our marriage. But at the same time, I had become quite isolated and even mean toward other people at times, very concerned with my prestige and status and who treats me this way or that. She may also have experienced my not wanting to be around people she was making friends with and trying to get her to spend alone time with me as attempts to control her. Very legitimate concerns on her part. So, I would not put this all on her and did not mean to. At the same time, looking back over the emails, I can say that even then it was not like I was deliberately pushing her away or anything. I did the best I could in those early months of counseling with what I then thought, and only later realized more about me. The real kicker is that even after I realized these things, she still kept me at arm's length. Perhaps she had been pushed too far somehow in her own mind. We all have limits, and hers was just a low threshold. Anyway, sort of rambling here, trying to think about it without pronouncing blame and bad character to her or me. It is what it is. She, even now, is doing what she thinks is best for her. Whether it is that remains to be seen. I doubt it, but life has a funny way of proving me wrong. At an interview yesterday, I probably won't get that job as I messed up a little bit of a Hebrew test. Oh well, I have an opportunity in Baltimore perhaps. We'll see. Thanks for the kind words from folks. I sent my wife a note tonight asking when she plans to file divorce papers and asking her to tell me when she does to inform me. And if possible, an estimate about when they will arrive. That is hard to send as it means I am in some ways pushing her to do what she said she was going to do. Something I don't really want. But at the same time, I am not really liking this waiting thing. She said 2 months ago that she was going to file. And she has not done so but has not informed me of anything. No contact between us, but she is not coming back. That much is clear to me. So, it does me no good for her to wait around. My 99 said that she may be waiting for a note like that from me because I had asked her to wait. He said she might also be processing the reality that she will not have contact with me. There will be no ongoing friendship like she hoped. He also said that another reason is that maybe she is afraid because she will be more vulnerable to getting into unhealthy relationships with other men once divorced because she gets some of her sense of identity from having other men around. None of that is my problem though. I'm not her therapy tool or way for her to keep other men at bay. If she wants the thing, I think it best to get it done and over with. But it was a hard email to send. Tuesday, I sent an email asking my STBX when she plans to file papers and to tell me when she does. No response yet. I saw her today sitting outside at her job. I went to a library where she works. She pretended that she did not see me, but I know she did. She was sitting on a bench and had to see me driving because of where the road and bench are. I did not approach her or anything. I just got in the car and drove past her. I figure if she can't acknowledge my presence, then I won't bother either. Why waste my time? It felt sad to do it, but I didn't dwell. She wanted to be friends and was upset that I did not want to do something like that but cannot even acknowledge my presence. Whatever, it's over. I'll be glad when I am moved away from here and will not see her like this anymore. She got back to me. She said she will file in the first week of June. Hearing that made me feel pretty sad. Maybe in the back of my mind I was hoping for something else. I have an urge to email her to ask her not to do it, but I haven't done so. I don't think I will. I won't contact her at all about anything. My first reaction to her response was sadness and not wanting her to actually do it. But I knew this was coming. She has been checked out of our marriage since at least the summer 2 years ago. She's been gone a long time. I am tired and drained with her. I have a bright future and she is frankly a drag. Even if she did want to work things out, I'd get stuck in an area with no job prospects for me. I have trained for 12 years to teach in a university and that would be hard to give up. As far as the OM, he was a friend of mine at one point and he currently teaches theology at a religious school. The professional panel is on theology and bonding and will deal with various issues, one of which is infidelity and such. That man is a hypocrite. I did not expose him, but this professional society is one we are both members of and to thin he will be on a panel, one which condemns certain behaviors that he himself is engaged in. Makes me pretty irate. I don't know that I'm going to let that just stand. It has been a lingering issue for me for 18 months now. What to do about this guy? I always felt if I went to the admin at the place he works they would cover it up and likely fire my wife since she'd be an easier target. They would not fire her. They would simply not renew her contract under the guise of budget cuts. I saw no reason to do that. It is the person in power who should be held responsible here, not the person, my STBX, who has a lesser job. That plus I thought it would harm my chances at reconciling with her if I harmed her career path. And then the fact that I am trying to be careful about my own motives and such so that I don't act out of a need to hurt somebody when I am hurt so that I can feel at least temporarily better. Doesn't work, not a good habit, led me to just let it go. But seeing his name on that panel just brought it all back up again. I generally don't think about him too much at all. I don't want anything to do with him. At one point we were friends. That is totally gone and will be forever. He thought we had an open marriage. He told me this when I first confronted him and said he'd back off, which he did not do. She moved out and few doors away from him until finally she cut it off with him June last year. If she had not cut contact, I would not have gone to counseling with her. I had planned to file divorce over the whole thing, but then she backed off from him. Who knows, that may start back up sometime. A disaster waiting to happen, but that is not my concern. Maybe it is not my concern that this hypocrite will sit on a panel at a professional conference talking dumb ignoramus stuff while having helped drive a further wedge between my wife and me. Not sure how I can confront this, but I think it probably needs done. This will come up over and over for me at conferences, because we are in the same circles professionally. I am more connected than he is. I'm actually quite well published and such, so I could make an issue of it. How to do so without harming my own image and without it being something unhealthy on my part is the question for me. We have not had contact for months. That is the way it will be from here on out since we are getting divorced. I did not contact her and ask her to rethink things. Wouldn't make any difference anyhow and would be like punching myself in the gut. No need for that. I had a third interview yesterday for a job I thought I messed up. The third interview went well. However, they said I am vastly overqualified for the position and were concerned about me leaving soon. They want at least a 2-year commitment if not more. I can't do that. I'm looking for a teaching position in a university and several good ones are open and the searches will begin in the fall for next year. Might have lost that, but I wanted to keep my integrity intact and just be upfront that I could only commit to a year. Probably lost that one, but I have to play this for a long game. Better to take a worse job for a year than be stuck in a mediocre one for a longer term. They've not said one way or another yet though, so, who knows? I thought I blew it before but didn't. They clearly think I'd do the best job of their candidates. Anyway, most of my energy is in job searching and completing my writing for my degree. I think that once I am away from this area my perspective will change for the better. I won't constantly run into people we both know and feel awkward. I won't see her on the fly. I'll be clearer about my own direction and have better social connections in a city. Made a decision last night to pack up my place in its entirety and move no matter what within the next 2 weeks or so. Whether I have a job going or not, I'm leaving this place. I can find work to pay bills and I would rather have a job for a year that I am not all that happy with and live somewhere better than be here. I've been a pretty nice guy through all of this. I needed to be in some ways to move from being so selfish to being a bit more other-focused. But I think I let my STBX walk over me too much. She used me for rides and used my research, word for word, at a paid speaking thing, when I was supposed to be it but was not because of the separation. She spent time in my place while I was not here, even demanded it, and I caved. I told myself I needed her to cat sit, when I did not. I could have moved then and stopped this stuff because deep down I knew it would end in divorce. But I just didn't want to let it go. I let her drag me along for nearly a year and a half to the point that my year now will be a bit hard because I did not apply to good teaching jobs at universities so I could stick around and work things out with her. As I was writing this last paragraph, I received an email from her saying that she appreciates the last time we interacted and will be in touch. What? I'm moving regardless. Landlord is letting me out of 1 month of my lease. That means I'm moving August 1st. I put in notice. I've asked people at my grad school about roommates up where I'm looking to move. Might be good to get a 2-bedroom and have somebody around who can watch the cats if I need to go away for a few days. And in general to be around somebody. If not, I'm good in a 1-bedroom on my own. I live in a 2-bedroom on my own now. I use the spare room as a study with all my books and such. Feel good to have a definite date to move and a plan for moving. Light at the end of the tunnel. I'd rather go sooner, but this will do. I have several art shows in the area till then anyhow, so this will work. And I turned down the roommate after discovering he had a very recent felony drug charge and he tried to get out of paying part of the rent before he even moved in. Called me this morning telling me he got into an argument with his current roommate and moved out his stuff. Can he bring his stuff now? Hell no. He burned his bridge before settling the deal with me. Tried to talk me down on rent, and then he has a record too. Just a marijuana charge, but still, tried to force my hand and make me into a rescuer for his stupidity. Bad move on his part. I did say I am in graduate school, which he took to mean I am exceedingly stupid. I guess, whatever, I'm probably better off on my own for a few months anyhow. Stupid to even think I could get a decent roommate for such a short time. It is a good idea, maybe, for a longer-term situation. But very little chance I can find a person who is stable that needs a place for such a short period. Not sure what I was thinking. That was way too impulsive and not really like me to post an ad without thinking through things enough to have seen that all I am likely to get are people in unstable situations themselves who are going to bring lots of baggage into my life. And I don't need that at all. Oh well, no harm done really. Learned a lesson and that is that. Glad I got some time to pack. I really do loathe this part of moving. August 1st is a good date to move. Gives me some time to pack and I have a couple art shows in this area in June and July so I can work on some paintings and not have to drive back for them. That and I am still beating the bushes for a 1-year position somewhere teaching. Have a few leads. Hopefully something comes up before I actually go up and sign something. If not, it is all good. Have friends in the city I am moving to and they are helping me look for a place already and telling me where to look to be close to them. So, it is all good. STBX said she'd file this week, but I've heard nothing so far. Friday is her day off. So maybe tomorrow she'll let me know she finally filed. I do a little very part-time work as a framer in a local business. Anyhow, there is a young 25-year-old girl there who has flirted with me for a long time. She has a small kid. Anyway, I have not encouraged her nor do I flirt back. She's a good-looking gal, and I have been flattered by the attention but I haven't done anything to encourage her. Anyhow, last night while I was working, we were talking and I asked how she makes a living on a part-time job with a kid, and she revealed she is married. She doesn't wear a ring. I was surprised but didn't show it. As she was talking, she said that she took the job to show her husband that she has options and can make it on her own if she wanted because they are having problems. Damn, would have been so easy to get sucked into that. A beautiful young lady wanting to tell me secrets and whatnot. It is flattering and I like attention from women as much as the next guy I suppose. But I did not pry or try to engage that at all. I was pretty shocked. She's obviously a long way down the road toward separation and divorce. All the signs are there. All the flirting makes sense now. I don't want any part in that. After I left, I reflected on this a bit more too. How easy it is to get into a situation where you use another person to escape pain from her end. And how easy it would be for a person not in the relationship to be sympathetic here and that turn into something it should not. My wife had an EA and who knows, maybe more. I would not put myself in a situation to be an OM in any way. I know that pain, and I know that it is a dangerous thing to be too. But I at least could sympathize, for the first time, with the OM and how he may have been sucked into my STBX's world. Too bad he wasn't more self-controlled, stupid crap. Anyway, it was on my mind last night and it came up this morning. I'll be sure to keep any chatter with her to a minimum as well just to be safe. Just do my work and leave it be. On another note, STBX said she did not file for divorce this week as she planned, and in her 2-line email said she is traveling and will not be checking email this weekend. I wrote back that I am disappointed in the lack of communication and that if she is going to file, I would like to know when she plans to do so, and that there is no use in prolonging it. If she isn't, she should tell me her thoughts and I will consider them. Wherever the case, I would like this to be acted on in a timely manner. I'm going to end up having to file. My 99 thinks that I might have to end up doing it as well. All of her moves in the relationship these past few months have been the result of me pushing her to decide and act. I'd much prefer she went through the hassle and payment for this than me. But if she doesn't do this in the coming week, maybe I should plan to do it myself the week of the 16th. I'm planning to wait till I am divorced to date. First, because I would not date a woman who is separated because that is an iffy situation. And I would be leery of women who would date me while I am still in this situation. Second, I am also in a temporary situation here, so it would make little sense to date people while still in this place. Might as well wait till I move and the divorce is over. Finally, I'm not sure I am ready for that yet, but I am moving in that direction. By the time I leave here I might be. I do want her to follow through, but I would also like this done in a timely manner. For me, I don't need a woman in my life or anything. I mean, I don't need a woman to feel good about myself, to do the traditional womanly division of labor crap. I can take care of myself. Hell, I am a great cook, I can clean. I'm a grown person in that regard, and I am not really lonely. I don't in any way feel a need to seek female companionship for some brief time. While I live where I do, that is all it could be. Just a date here and there, not worth my money or time in my view. On the other hand, I don't see myself as single for the rest of my life, and I will be open to exploring relationships with women in the near future. I am in good shape physically. I lift weights 4 to 5 a week, and have done so for 2 years. And before that I ran marathons. I am in decent shape mentally. I am hopefully set for a decent career in a university within a year or two. So, I don't foresee any problems finding a woman. I'm 39, but I pass for younger. I've aged well. It runs in the family. The only issue with me is that I am transient for at least a year or so. I don't know where my career will take me. So, I could easily say, I am not going to date till I have settled into a tenure track post someplace. But that is a slippery slope of excuses. I think. That could be 1 year or it could be 2. I don't know. Too nice. Thanks for the kind words on the painting. I sold that one this past February. I have a couple new ones that are similar that are oil but are in a gallery where I live. I'll take them out for my upcoming art shows, which I am really excited about. Great places to meet women if I wanted to. I've noticed that in the past, women talk to me pretty easily when they see me as an artist rather than a scholar. Less intimidating maybe, and I'm fairly friendly at those things. In sales mode. If I were in your shoes I would definitely not date till I had my own place. And yeah, why are you moving? Do you all own a house? Rent is high and the places are small. You've not even filed for divorce yet. Have you told your kids yet? I would be leery of myself in that situation and my motives. What does your IC say? I had a great interview this morning for a professorship. I have a good chance at getting it. Before the Skype interview I made the mistake of checking my email. I made the further mistake of opening a rare email from my STBX. In a 3-line email she informed me she filed for divorce and would take a few of my personal items to my apartment complex office and drop them off. I made sure not to let it affect my attitude and cheerfulness during the interview, and it is not affecting me negatively now. However, I find it ironic that the woman who wanted to be friends finds herself unable to send the most basic of email courtesies but limits herself to 3-liners and cannot give my belongings in person but uses a mediator. There is no really good reason for this divorce. She wants me to be more emotionally on her level, which I am willing to work at and have done so. I'm not a wreck or anything. I am a pretty stable guy mentally, physically, and emotionally. This divorce is on her. On the plus side, I would not be able to take a teaching position somewhere if we were still trying to work at things. Or rather, if I were trying and she was just placating me. I'd be stuck in this hole in the earth working in a factory or a coffee shop or doing construction. All respectable work, but I trained for 12 years to teach at a university and don't want to waste all that hard work and my abilities. I mean hell. I know 7 languages. What use are those in a factory? So, this is good. I have the world open before me and can go wherever and places are interested in me, so the doors are open. Too bad she won't come along, but I'll find somebody else to live life with. So, I went to the post office and got the divorce papers. She is suing for a no-fault divorce with no property and no debt to divide. A clean divorce, as they say. I went to the gym afterward, and I guess my instinct was to try and find her and talk her out of this disaster. But that is just a temptation. I won't follow through on it. But I still don't think this divorce is right, and I don't agree that it is necessary. But I can and do accept it. I have 60 days to counter-sue. If I don't file anything, then it goes through. She's changing her name back, of course. We both changed our names in the marriage. I will keep mine as is because I have published numerous books and articles under this name and am something of a public figure in the theological world. I like the name and it doesn't bother me. And career-wise, it is way better to keep my name as is. I don't think I have to do anything to keep it. The papers say you have to indicate if you want to change and what to. So, if I do not file a response, they will just keep my name as is. Which is how I want it. I guess my other reaction was whether I should file a counter. No debt on her end. I have a little. But maybe it is better to just let it go and assume it myself. I can and will handle it. She is saying she doesn't want to fight by not making any issue of anything. So that is probably for the best, and I should probably just let the 60 days pass and do nothing as far as the courts go. This legal stuff is all a formality if we have no debt and property to divide. Neither of us ever put any stock into legalities of the marriage. We got married at a courthouse a few days before our church wedding in order to keep the church thing separate, since our politics kind of rub against having church mixed all up with each other. So really, if I am true to my politics, this is over. The legal stuff is just that formality thing we did to cover our tracks if one of us got hurt or whatever. Days later, saw the STBX today, said hi and kept walking. Will be very glad when I move and do not run into her though. Regarding the other matter, I haven't heard back from him, and don't expect to. I'm going to talk with a friend tomorrow on the planning committee and just talk with him about what has happened. It is up to him what to do with that information. I'll let it go after that. I don't want to invest too much into this type of thing, but I do think I need to tell some people and just let them do whatever they want. I don't even want to know what they decide, but they cannot down the road say they were not warned. I'll have done my duty at least, and that is what I'm concerned about here. Keeping silent when there may very well be something I need to speak up about. It was okay to be silent for the sake of my marriage. I am not sure it is okay to keep it back without that though. It just doesn't feel right. But again, maybe I am wrong. But I am going to inform a couple people, and then I am going to drop it completely and walk away from it. A week later. So last week I changed my location on the dating site to the place I am moving to. 3 women already asked me out. Jesus, one is clearly not suitable. Divorced multiple times and whining about it on the site. The other 2 are good-looking women and their profiles didn't raise any issues immediately. I messaged back saying I am not in town for a month, and after that if they want to get together for coffee, I'd be down with that. I'm going to like that city. Half a year later. I am doing well. I am divorced, moved to a new city, have a new job teaching men convicted of violence about nonviolence and challenging their patriarchal gender role ideas, as well as teaching part-time at a nearby university. I have a new car. I am dating a great woman, dating about 5 months now. All in all, life is good. The holidays are approaching, and I invited the woman I am dating to come with me to my parents. She has 2 kids, but they will not be with her this year, so she might as well come with me. The kids are 2 and 9. I do not have any kids. Never really been around them till I started dating this lady. I never wanted them. Her 2-year-old is a little hard to deal with. He can be incredibly sweet at times, but other times he whines and cries and throws fits. Not very pleasant. I am not used to dealing with that sort of thing. If there is one thing that gives me pause, it is that I could not, for example, see myself moving in with her and putting up with that day after day. Her 9-year-old is no problem at all. So, I am working through that issue in the dating thing. Should probably go to counseling and get a third party to help me discern. As far as my ex, I do not hear from her or have any contact at all. I think about her from time to time. I don't dwell on her much. My comment: what you guys think of this final ending? You think OP really did move on? And what you think about dating a new woman with children? Comment down, and I will see you in the afternoon story.